He's been one of the most popular villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery for the last decade. Today we will take a look at the Identity Thief, better known as Hush, Dr. Thomas Elliot, and we'll find out what drove Batman's childhood best friend to become one of his greatest and deadliest enemies. Hello everyone, welcome back to Cap Comics Now, and on this edition we will answer, who is Hush? Now before we get started, I just want to remind everybody to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that little notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload. So without further ado, let's get started. We open with Batman saving a young boy from being kidnapped and held for ransom by Killer Croc. What Batman realizes is that kidnapping and ransom isn't Croc's MO. He'd just as soon kill the boy. In the end, Batman saves the boy and subdues Croc, but Catwoman sneaks in and steals the ransom money. Batman goes off to chase her, and his rope gets cut, and that's when we have our first look at Hush. Batman falls into an alley and is left broken and unconscious. Just as he's about to be killed by a few thugs, Huntress comes in for the save. She takes down the goon squad and gets Batman into the Batmobile, where he's taken back to the cave. While Alfred and Oracle are debating how to treat him, a semi-conscious Bruce uses Morse code to signal to get his childhood best friend, Thomas Elliot, Dr. Thomas Elliot. We see a flashback of Bruce playing chess with his childhood best friend Tommy. Bruce tells Tommy how he can never win and that Tommy beats him every time. Tommy says that you always have to be 3 moves ahead of your opponent. You need to know their weaknesses. Tommy says as long as Bruce can't think like him, Tommy would always beat him. Bruce's surgery is a success, and as he's recovering, he can't help but think of the mystery assailant who shot out his rope, knowing they're still out there. Turns out Catwoman was being controlled by Poison Ivy, and after a scuffle with Superman and Metropolis, Batman, Catwoman, and a now unhypnotized Superman take down Ivy, and we see Batman's romance with Catwoman begin to grow. Bruce and Selina meet Tommy and Dr. Leslie Tompkins at the opera. While there, the opera is hijacked by Harley Quinn and her goons. They shoot up the building, and Harley steals a pendant from Tommy, given to him by his mother. Bruce makes a quick costume change to Batman and heads after Quinn. Because he hasn't fully recovered yet, Quinn gets the upper hand, but Catwoman comes in for the save. She chases Quinn out of the building but gets shot for her trouble. Batman heads outside after Quinn and Tommy. The moment he's outside, he hears a gunshot and heads over to where the sound came from. Batman arrives to see his best friend, Thomas Elliot, dead on the ground, and Joker perched over his body, holding a gun. In a blind rage, Batman starts pummeling Joker, being reminded of how Joker shot and crippled Barbara Gordon, how he shot and killed former Commissioner James Gordon's wife, and how he kidnapped and murdered former Robin Jason Todd. Catwoman comes out to try and stop Batman, but to no avail. Finally, it's ex-Commissioner Gordon who comes to talk Batman down, stating how he can't let scum like Joker make him cross that line. Gordon and Batman leave, as Joker can only muster, "I'm innocent." And above the alley, Hush stands, flipping Two-Face's coin, saying, "He is innocent." Back in the cave, Batman is looking over the case file of Tommy's death when he's joined by Nightwing, Dick Grayson. Batman says that he thinks the Joker is innocent. He was shown what he was meant to see and heard what he was meant to hear. All of these events range as high as Superman and as low as the Joker. Batman says that he let this person and the events that transpired get to him, and that he almost crossed the line that he swore he wouldn't ever cross. Batman and Nightwing get a call and head out to stop the Riddler. Upon Riddler's capture, Batman notices that Riddler was left off this mystery assailant's list. But digging deeper, he finds ash from a Lazarus pit. We get a cool side-by-side where Hush is revealing himself to the Joker, as Batman is revealing himself to Catwoman. Batman pulls off his mask to reveal Bruce Wayne. Hush pulls off his bandages to reveal Harvey Dent's original face, and says he's going to do the work he was doing before his accident that made him Two-Face. Is Hush really Two-Face? We see Batman head off to LexCorp 1 jet. LexCorp is now run by Talia Head, formerly Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Batman stashes her with Catwoman and goes off to find Ra's. Elsewhere, Harvey Dent wakes up Gordon in his home and tells him that it was his police revolver that was the gun that shot Thomas Elliot, and that it's all part of a game. Catwoman is guarding Talia when Lady Shiva crashes in and starts beating up Catwoman, simultaneously as Batman is fighting Ra's. Batman wins and manages to get Ra's to tell him that someone in Batman's life has used the Lazarus Pit, tainting it. Who in Batman's life wishes to come back from the dead? Lady Shiva is about to kill Catwoman when Talia comes in for the save. Batman arrives and Talia tells him that this person knows he loves Catwoman and that he will use it against him. Batman says that she's worth it. Back at the cave, Batman and Catwoman are searching for answers when Catwoman sees a looming Tim Drake, the current Robin, and confronts him. The two fight, and out of anger, Selina goes out on patrol with one of the motorcycles. This was all a ploy to get Selina to lead Batman and Robin to Huntress, who heads off Selina in an alley. Huntress tells Selina that she knew she'd come for her, and that she knew her saving Batman in Crime Alley would be too coincidental. Huntress attacks Catwoman, continuing to say how there's no way to stop it, and that she isn't afraid of Catwoman. Batman and Robin show up, and Batman reveals Scarecrow has been hiding behind the scenes. He had doused Huntress in fear toxin. Batman questions why Scarecrow has been going after everyone, when suddenly, Hush walks out from the wreckage of the fight, with an unconscious Robin, pulling off his bandages to reveal the former Robin, Jason Todd. But Jason Todd has been dead for years. The Joker killed him. It's not possible. Yet here he is. The two begin fighting, and as they're fighting, Batman is realizing that the clues just don't add up. Also, Jason is much older than when he died, and his fighting style is a little too acrobatic. He notes that if it really was Jason, he'd have called him Bruce, but he only ever referred to him as Batman. Batman finally subdues this imposter, and as he starts to interrogate him, the imposter melts and withers away, revealing himself to be Clayface. Batman notes that they didn't know Jason's fighting style, so Clayface copied Nightwing's, and that using the current Robin's fighting style would have been too easy to spot. Later at the clock tower, Batman has Oracle locate Huntress, but says she ditched her tracker, so it'll take a while. She also lets Batman know that the audio relay that he found in the cave traced back to a man named Harold, who was an employee of Bruce's and at one point even worked in the Batcave. Harold has a medical condition that kept him mute and paraplegic, but now he's speaking and standing in front of Batman. He says this person promised him he'd be able to stand up and speak like a man, and if he helped him place the relay in the cave, he'd give him what he needed. And as he's about to name the culprit, he's shot multiple times by Hush. Batman and Hush start fighting, and he says how he's been one step ahead of him the entire time, and that he's been playing everyone in his life like chess pieces. Batman finds a pendant on Hush, the same pendant that belonged to Thomas Elliot. He starts putting the pieces together, and Hush reveals himself to actually, in fact, be Thomas Elliot. The person who was killed and framed by Joker was also Clayface. He says it's funny how they end up on the bridge on a rainy night. Shortly before Bruce's parents died, Tommy's parents were in a car accident on that same bridge in the rain. Thomas Wayne performed the surgery that saved his mother, but could not save his father. Turns out, Elliot orchestrated the entire car accident so that he could inherit his parents' money in their death, but Thomas Wayne, saving Elliot's mother, prevented that from happening. An explosion knocks Batman down, and as Hush is about to kill him, Gordon comes in for the save with the real Harvey Dent, who shoots Elliot off the bridge. Batman goes down in the harbor to search, but can't find the body. But Batman isn't satisfied. He believes there's more, and turns out there is. It would appear that Riddler was the brains behind Hush the entire time. Riddler used the Lazarus Pit to cure his tumor, and used Elliot's grudge against Bruce to bring him to Gotham. Batman says that Riddler won't reveal his identity, because his riddles are his compulsion. He's addicted to them. Batman lays the Riddler out, and that's the end of Hush. So Riddler being Hush was a twist that I don't think anybody saw coming. And I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of it. But it was nice to see Nigma get a little bit of a victory in the end because God knows the poor guy deserves it. The animated film Batman Hush adapted this storyline, but they actually made Riddler the man under the bandages, which I'm not a fan of. But that was a nonsensical film anyway. They changed a lot of things, so we're just not gonna go that as continuity. We're not gonna use that as continuity, rather. So anyway, there's also talk of Hush being the Riddler in this new Robert Pattinson Batman film. I know in my last video I said the Riddler could be a Talon because he was dressed like that, but he also could be dressed as Hush. We don't know. Like I said, only time is going to tell. But I want to thank everybody for joining me on this session of Cap Comics Now. But I want to know your thoughts, guys. I want to know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part of this Hush storyline is. And let me know if you think the Riddler is Hush in this movie or if they're linked in any way. I want to know your thoughts. Let's start a conversation. I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you like this video, want to see more, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you can get notified every time I upload. And I will see you guys next time. Catch you guys later.